But I'm not looking for like some fuckboy, you know. Like I can't waste my time anymore. I have been around, you know. I have been around the block and back. So if this is gonna like go somewhere, then like I need you to be more like the one. So much pressure. I have something so crazy to say. Should I just say it?
Yeah, just say it.
I I have it on me. The ring, I have that on me right now, which is like, why? I don't know. Like, what am I saying? Oh, you should propose to me tomorrow. We just met. We just met. The doctor's not picking up, and my mom's not picking up, and I don't know if you've heard of this, but I'm freaking out. I just looked it up online, and there's so many horrible things.
Little baby, but everything's okay.
Is the baby okay?
You're okay. Yes.
Okay? Listen to me, alright? You gotta do something, man.
Lucia, where are you? It's been hours. I've been calling you all night.
I'm sorry I'm putting you through this.
Just give it back.
I can't.
Why not?
Vanessa, it counts. You tell anyone where I was?
No.
Well, they found me. Is this what you want? Huh? Come and get it!
I can help you if you let me. I know you're not crazy. But that doesn't mean you don't need help.
I'm not making this up. I know you're out there!
Liverpool's abound. I won't ask you for much, baby, just hold on. You're the one that I want to survive this foolish world.
This isn't working. It's only been 6 months.
Carried away.
Nikki!
No one knows
Great. Did you just get in, or were you listening the whole time?
Don't call me ever again.
I guess we're home.
Hola a todos, everybody. Hi. Thank you so much for joining us today in Actor Slash, one more event online that we have here. And well, this is Actor Slash. My name is Vanhe Tapia. I'm an actress slash producer slash founder of Actor Slash, which is pretty much a place where we encourage and support actors, fellow actors who create their own opportunities by producing their own content. And I'm very excited today because I have invited 5 fellow actors who are amazing. I really admire them. Many of them, I met them before and I wanted to bring them in long ago, but I just didn't have the opportunity before. And they're just fantastic. They have done from TV series and movies and theater, films, and they are actors slash directors slash producers slash writers, even musicians, and they're just amazing. And I want you guys to meet them. Before we start, I know already we have a lot of people signing in, which makes me very happy and joining us. I can see Lola Jauregui again, always so loyal from Mexico City. Thank you so much for joining and sharing this. I really appreciate it. And we already have a couple of shares. However, I'm going to be trying to address any questions or any comments only that are written and typed on the Actor Slash fan page. So please do write your comments. Let us know where you are. Let us know where you're watching us and write down any questions that you may have because we are going to go through all of them. And if we can't do it live, I make sure my guests go in person and answer. Anyway, let's start right now. This beautiful lady who is, I have 2 beautiful ladies today, but she especially is gorgeous because she is pregnant and she might be due, she's due next week, I think on the 28, 29 on my birthday day, but who knows, maybe the baby comes earlier. And she has an amazing project to talk about with you, to share with you about her pregnancy because she is filming it. Her name is Selena Rengel, and she's an award-winning writer, producer, slash actress. And Selena is a Mexican American and grew up in Guadalajara, Mexico. She's also Jewish, and she has collaborated with incredible talent, including Issa Rae from Insecure, Lee Aronson, 2.5 Men, Salvador Pascovitz, Age of Adeline, Rob Schneider from Deuce Bigalow and Male Gigolo. And her work has premiered and screened at many film festivals, including Cannes Film Festival, the section of last Eid, Cannes Short Corner, Tribeca, Clermont-Ferrand, and CineQuest Film Festival. Selena was selected as one of the 20 emerging Latino creators of the Tomorrow's Filmmakers Today program by the Hola Mexico Film Festival here in Los Angeles, sponsored by HBO and the Academy. Her first feature film, The Best People, which she wrote and produced, was picked up by Samuel Goldwyn Films and go distribute worldwide in the US. It is now available on Amazon and Prime and Tubi, so go check it out. The Best People also won the Special Jury Award for Best Comedy Feature at World Fest Houston and was the closing night film at Dances with Films. Selena also wrote, produced, and starred in an 8-episode comedy series called Tuning In, which we kind of saw a couple of some sections of the clips in her little reel that we just watched. So it's very funny and it's also available on Amazon Prime. She also performs stand up regularly at clubs such as the Comedy Store, the Ice House, Flappers, and many more. She and her husband run their own production company called Two Hands Production. So put those two hands together and let's welcome Selena Ringel. Selena, dear, where are you? There she is. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. A pregnant woman.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien. You look great. Look at that. I'm going to do a close up so you can see her better.
Here, I'll show you how pregnant I am.
Yeah. Oh my God. Look at that. It's amazing. You look beautiful. Do you know already if it's going to be a boy or a girl?
Yeah, it's going to be a boy.
It's going to be a boy? Oh, you got a name?
Yeah, Matias.
You will know about it. We'll know about everything in a moment. So bear with me and help me introduce the next person. He's also this guy. I met him during Shore and Sweet, the festival. I had the owner of Shore and Sweet yesterday, but our next guest, he won the festival in one of the sections. And every time I see him, he's always winning in theater. He's amazing. Just recently won also something else, but you'll know about it. He was born and raised in Puebla, Mexico. His name is Christian Ñeco, and his acting career under the tutelage of the award-winning Mexican actress Patricia Reyes Spindola. While attending the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, AMDA, in New York City, Christian starred in various theater productions. He originated the role of Julio in The Keeper of the Vineyard, produced by the American Theater for Actors, as well as the role of Mark in the off-Broadway production of Sound Syndrome. Christian was cast in the production of Antigone, directed by Natalie Cito, which went on to win the Theater Mania Award for Best Physical Play in the Capital Fringe Festival in Washington, D.C. He also performed part of the bilingual production of Trilogy for Juan Rulfo, a theater adaptation of stories written by the legendary Mexican writer Juan Rulfo, produced by actor-producer Germán Jaramillo. Christian was also part of the production of No Oyes Ladrar Los Perros, which went on to win the BFA International Theater Festival. Christian graduated with honors from AMDA with a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Acting. Since then, he has been part of the Puckwick Gang, a Los Angeles-based theater group which produced the award-winning trilogy of plays Chimskin, The Dangerous Cures of Dr. B, and Inclusion, which won various awards at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Christian wrote and directed The Train of the Unknowns, which participated in the theater festival Hollywood Short and Sweet. Made it to the finals and won the award of Best Actor for Marco Garcia, which is a great actor too. In 2019, Christian was invited to become a lifetime member of the Actors Studio. Nobody gets that. It's not that easy. So that's how big he is. In 2020, Christian played the leading role of the feature film, The Sound of the Wind, which we saw some scenes of the trailer just now, a film that tells the story of a young Hispanic man that suffers from mental illness. Most recently, Christian won the jury award for the contest Film the Future, organized by the Mexican Consulate in Los Angeles, which is an amazing short film. I invite you to go to the CCCM and you can see it. You can watch it. It's only 58 seconds long. And currently Christian acts and develops content for JDG Entertainment and the theater company, The Puckwick Gang. Please welcome Christian Nieco. Bravo!
Hello, Banque.
Christian, finally.
¿Qué pasó? What was that?
Finally.
Finally, we get, finally we get to talk on Actor Slash. Thank you so much for having me, Banque. You know that I really appreciate every single time I can get to talk how much I appreciate what you do for the community to connect us. I mean, I already, just through this, I just met all these amazing actors, slashers. So thank you so much for having me.
And the idea is that we all connect and do something together eventually, or you guys, one another. Another person who I was dying to invite long ago, it's like long overdue. She is amazing. She is an actress / producer and has been a member of the Directors Guild of America as an assistant director for over a decade, with over 300 credits under her belt. Projects include feature films, episodic television, sitcoms, and commercials. She is originally from Baltimore, Maryland, where she began acting at the age of 8 and was introduced to stage management in high school, which later became a natural transition into ADing and producing. Having resided in Los Angeles now for 16 years, she gets to do both of the things she loves and has found the appropriate balance that works for her to be able to do both, which she has. She's always busy. Some of her credits include movies like Cloverfield, Changeling, yeah, sorry about that. Four Christmases, All About Steve, Takers, The Guilt Trip, National Lampoon's Scuttle Cat, Bad Grandpa, and shows like Monk, CSI New York, Mad Men, Ray Donovan episodes, Flake, the Carmichael Show, Stuck in the Middle, and the Punky Brewster reboot, just to name a few. She's also always currently producing 5 to 10 projects, all at various stages. In her spare time, Vicky owns a small business, which is Cotton Candy Girls, and she's obsessed with college basketball in her fantasy football team. She's excited to talk to you all and share some tips on how to make the most of it during this hard time. Please welcome Vicky Goldsmith. Woohoo! Celine and Christian, come back. I want you guys. Need you here. Help me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so touched by that warm welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bet.
Okay.
Now we're gonna leave the last person. Let me just make sure I'm paused here. This is very interesting. Our next and last guest, I left him as the cherry of the cake. Just, I don't know, about over a month ago, actually a couple of months ago, I had him and his brother come to see one of the Actors Slash events, probably in February. And I took their number and their emails because I found them very interesting. They are truly actor slashers. They are Spanish/British, but I believe they grew up in New York. He will tell us all about it. Anyway, I wanted to invite them both. So I invited first the brother, Robert, and he was in one of my Actors Slash events during the Baja California International Film Festival. And the other two actors were like, well, right now I'm trying to put up together a 58 seconds video to participate in the Film the Future contest by the Mexican consulate, because anyone could enter, not only Mexicans, but anyone, as long as they live in Los Angeles. So these guys, my next guest and his brother, put together a video, 58 seconds within 10 days of less like a week. And they were one of the winners among Christian. and it was amazing. It was great. Really, they're very talented. And my guest, who I'm going to invite right now, because I already have the brother, now I have him. His name is Anthony Giordano. He is a recent transplant to Los Angeles after graduating Northeastern University in 2018. He began the production company Giordano Brothers Film with his brother to fulfill his lifelong passion of entertainment and art in the form of short films. He has enjoyed exploring the worlds of editing, composing, and visual effects in his most recent works, now in consideration for festivals. He's looking forward to continuing and expanding his projects into larger and more beautiful works because on top of that, he's a musician. So please welcome Anthony Giordano. Anthony, there you are.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm very excited to have you all. And now I can take my glasses off. So I need to read. Especially to inspire a lot of people, because we normally have a lot of friends, a lot of fellow actors who are going to be very interesting in knowing how you guys reach your goals and ended up where you are right now. But before we do that, again, for those who just joined and you are watching us on Facebook, please type, where are you? I see comments already. I'll find out. Where are you logging in from? From Australia. Hello from Australia. Hi, Bini Noble. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. From Puebla, that's probably friends of yours or family. Christian, Rebecca.
That's my mom.
There you go. There's always a mom who's gonna support. Ben Shannon, hey, Vic, that's for Vicky. Yeah. Cynthia Prida Bravo. Oh my God, she is the consul of cultural affairs at the Mexican consul, and she has been incredibly supportive. And she is the one who puts together the Film the Future event, where Christian and Anthony came from, and they won an award. So thank you so much, Cynthia, for joining and for your support and watching this. Robert, of course, Robert Giordano supporting. And then we have Mark Guestwind. Hello, Mrs. Goldsmith. She's the best. I'm pretty sure she is. And there's some more that I'm going to be.
I got that from you.
What is it?
I said, I got that from you. I learned from Mark.
Aha, Mark, you see? And anyway, I know Vicky through Zeke Hindle, who was one of my first. No, you introduced me to.
I think I brought Zeke to you.
Yeah, but I met you through another actor that I forgot.
I think it was I think his name was Robert. It's Robert Liu, and the group who brought me to Sony, where we met Jolene. That was the
I was
first
another
event
guy.
I
It was another guy who I met in a festival, and he told me about it. And he told
Roger.
Me you are Roger.
Right.
It was Roger.
Roger, right?
Hill.
Roger.
You see, we have to introduce one another, and this is what happened. Get together. Anyway, guys, keep writing, keep telling us. Yeah, wonderful short films by Christian Yeco and the Giordano brothers. Cynthia Prida says that. Cynthia, muchos besos. And I'm in late 20 minutes from Vicky. Thank you so much. 20 minutes done. Don't just 20 minutes. Stay longer. Anyway, we're gonna come back to your comments and questions. But first of all, I would love to know, guys, where were you in your career? What were you doing when the pandemic shut down everything and probably interrupted some of your projects that you were working on? You were probably in the middle of, or just starting, or about to embark in something new. So let's start with you, Selena.
Well, actually, that's a really interesting question for me because I was in the process of making a feature film that tracks my pregnancy in real time, kind of like Boyhood. So it's a narrative film that we had outlined, but we were going to shoot once a month, and we were going to add real elements from my pregnancy into the pages. So we were going to write the pages at the top of the month and shoot at the end of the month. So in February, I was around 3 months or 4 months pregnant. And we had already shot the first 30 minutes of the movie. We had the out movie. And when COVID happened, we had to re-outline the entire movie because we could no longer shoot with a crew because I'm actually pregnant. So I can't actually be around anybody. So we went from being 30 people making an indie movie to pausing to my husband and I deciding we were just going to do everything, me and him, and rewrite everything so that the pandemic was actually a part of the movie. And so we basically threw away like probably 15 out of 30 minutes that we had already shot and re-envisioned what the whole film was about. And the film became about being pregnant in the pandemic.
So you already have a cast, you already have a story. Did you already start filming anything, shooting anything? Did you?
Yeah, I had 30 minutes of the movie in February.
That's what he meant. So you have to basically redo it.
Yeah, well, we were able to use like 15 of them.
Okay.
But we had to re-envision what the beginning was and then what happens, you know, like the change of events is the pandemic now. So, and it wasn't, you know, so we redo a lot. It was a lot of existential crises along the way. But it also felt like, you know, we had a lot of people say, oh, well, just shut down and then you'll start it back up later. You can always pretend you're pregnant later. And
it won't be the same. Right?
It wouldn't be the same. We really wanted to track this pregnancy in real time. And so we really wanted to be authentic to that. And we just thought, okay, let's just incorporate what's really happening. And then we ended up actually incorporating the George Floyd protests. And we ended up incorporating like all these other things that have happened because we just figured like.
Uh-oh. I think you froze a little bit.
You know?
We lost you in the last word, so we couldn't hear. You froze a little bit. So you were able to, I think we stopped, but like you were able to incorporate George
Floyd protests.
Floyd, yeah. And then?
And I was saying that, you know, we realized that this was a movie that was going to be tracking the events as they were actually affecting my pregnancy in real time, even though it's a narrative film. So it's not a documentary.
Right. So you are due, yeah, because you're normally close to your best friend and you have another, this is supposed to be a single mother she just wants to have a baby, right?
Yes. So the movie is about a single half Mexican, half American woman like myself who's a workaholic, who just wants to have a baby on her own and she doesn't want anybody's help. And she actually feels like she can handle everything on her own. And then the pandemic happens and she's really forced to be alone in a way that she had never really imagined. And it kind of makes her reevaluate what that means and why human connection is so important.
Okay, and you are due like in 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, I could literally go into labor at any minute.
Anytime. I was so nervous, like, are you sure you'll be able to do it? And then I thought, imagine how cool in the middle of a presentation, a fountain broke. No. Let's wait not to happen. But so does that mean that when the baby is born, that's when the movie ends? Or how it's gonna?
That is exactly correct. So the end of the movie is me delivering this baby. So my husband is going to film the delivery.
You already got the permission and everything from the hospital? Or how it doesn't work?
gonna steal it. We're gonna be close up on my face, so it's not like we're gonna show, you know, anybody else. It's just about me. So it's gonna be about my experience delivering, and then the baby. You know,
And what's the name of this project?
39 weeks.
39 weeks. And I think at the end of the reel that we just showed, that's a small scene, right? Of you crying. That's part of it, I think.
Yeah.
Which is great. Oh my God. Well, I am so excited. We can't wait to see it. How about you, Vicky? What were you doing? First of all, I appreciate that you are here because I know you are like in basically gonna be home for some time, and you've been home for some time due to an incident that you had.
And that's why my situation's really unique, because I kind of had a 2-month head start on quarantine. I suffered a traumatic brain injury in January. So my life had literally already flipped on its head. I had 2 shows that were lined up for March. Well, one initially that I've been planning on since Christmas. It's a movie. I'd signed an NDA, so I can't tell you what it was. And then when I got the injury, I mean, I can't read, I can't do screens. I was like, I can't do this. And I was counting on that movie for my insurance. So I wound up having to day play, which, you know, no disrespect, I haven't day played in 15 years, but I had to day play to qualify. And I wound up, got like so grateful for my friends. I wound up working on Blackish, The Rookie, and Lucifer. And my last day on Lucifer, it was March 11th. I made my insurance by $200 and everything shut down the next day.
Wow.
So,
and just, you know, guys, her reel, it's a bunch of pictures because she really cannot read very well. She can't really focus or be on the computer very much or do some editing or work because it's a head injury. So
but my motivation to work is there. There was another thing that I was working on, which, I mean, it's a little bit relevant. I can't say too much, but on like the financing end for a very large movie that I kind of had to step away from and lean on my partners more. But that movie actually wound up selling during the pandemic for a ton of money. Will likely, hopefully be an Oscar contender. I was not able to be a part of it, but it's just proof that like deals are still happening, pitches are still happening. I've still been involved in conversations from studios. Like I know when shows anticipate having their start dates. I'm sure that's something we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so I kind of already had to get used to staying home. So in a way, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been, and how more time do you think you're gonna have to stay home? And
you know, it's weird because anxiety from the world kind of regressed my progress. Like the first day, I've been in physical therapy since February, and the first day I started feeling better, literally I remember going home on March 18th. I was like, okay, this is working. And then all of a sudden, and I'm like, why aren't I improving? The doctors don't know why I'm not improving. I'm like, literally, I'm home. I'm doing the exercises. I'm like literally doing everything I can. Thank goodness all these doctors are staying open. I'm taking this 6-hour exam on Monday. It's called like a neuropsych test. So maybe they can tell me what's wrong. Like, I have no idea. But my positive way of looking at it is at least I'm not missing anything outside.
Yeah, we catch up with you. We don't have any injury or anything, but we're looking down too. But you know what? No, you're right. I'm glad you're taking care because I mean, this is the kind of thing that it can hit you when you're driving, or it's so dangerous that like, oh, but I just hit my head like long time ago, and it can just drag you. So I'm glad you addressed that immediately, and you're taking good care of it. Good.
I appreciate that.
Chris, you've been pretty busy, you and Anthony, to begin with, winning festivals and doing short films from home. Well, kind of like Christian went to the ocean literally and the short film. Tell us, what have you been doing in all this, or what were you doing when the pandemic hit it?
When the pandemic happened, we were getting ready for the US premiere of the
Your movie.
Yeah, of The Sound of the Wind, which I mean, it's well, first of all, before Vicky, I hope you get better. That sounds like horrible. So I mean, I'm so happy you're doing okay. And Selena, the project sounds amazing. Yeah, when you were talking, I was like, that is genius. But and yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we were getting ready for the premiere of the film, which you know, I was very excited about, because most of my life I've done a bunch of theater, and this was my first feature film, and it didn't happen. I was excited because my family was going to travel to LA to attend the premiere, but so we were getting ready for that, and also with the theater company that I work with, the Puckwood Gang, we were getting ready to develop our new play, and yeah, so we were just that's what I was doing, and then the pandemic happened, and it stopped. It kind of stopped some plans, you know. Some stuff is not going, other stuff is happening, which is exciting, but you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know. So.
And then you just went on winning and.
Well, yeah, the short film, yeah, which I did it with the people that I usually work with, you know, kind of just to like be creative and just do something. We took it as an opportunity, and I mean, we're glad that people liked it and connect with it, and yeah, and right now we are developing some exciting content that we're getting some doors open for some stuff with JDG Entertainment is the production company that I work with most of the time, which is great filmmakers and up and coming filmmakers, you know, and yeah, but specifically,
are you one of the founders of the
JDG Entertainment? So the founder is Jared Douglas, which has become through the years since we worked together, almost like a brother to me, you know. And so he's the founder, and then Niraj Jain, Hope Bello LaRue, which is my wife, and myself we all have teamed up to just kind of like, you know, like right now we're just like writing stuff, developing stuff, pitching, and we, I mean, I guess some of the good stuff about this time is, as Vicky said, you know, people, I guess because of the Sound of the Wind, you know, and all the stuff we've done in the past years, people are starting to pay attention to us, you know, to be like, so we're having some exciting meetings, and for some of the projects we've been developing for the past years, but yeah, so that's what's happening right now.
Okay, perfect. How about you, Anthony?
So
we're having some exciting meetings.
Sorry, that was me.
It's all right. So Robert, my brother, and I, we moved over to LA from New York, where we grew up, about just a few months before the pandemic hit. So we were in the middle of going out and meeting people and getting immersed in the community. That's when we met you, Vanje. So when the pandemic hit, we were in the middle of just establishing ourselves out here. So we just kind of had to do something. So we decided, all right, well, if we can't work with other people, let's just work with each other. And that's where we came up with the Giordano Brothers Film Production Company. So we were just making short films. We were practicing making, editing, practicing the acting, practicing the music, just to get more experience working in general. So that's, we kind of just had to figure it out on the fly, but we've been very lucky since we met you, Vanje, before the pandemic, that we've been able to stay in contact with you so we can keep working with people like all these beautiful people right here.
Yeah, bad. That's what we do, actors. We encourage one another. I remember Mario Corona and Elena were encouraging Robert to join the film The Future, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did an amazing job. You guys did. Not like seriously, go watch those short films. Well, I'm very happy to hear. Selena, there's a question for you that before we go to the next question. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but your last name, I'm sorry, Ben Xian or Xian. He wants to know if you will go to an actual hospital and film there, or do you plan to have the baby at home?
I'm gonna go to a hospital. I actually did consider having a home birth because of everything going on and with COVID. And by the way, being pregnant during this time, it's like if pregnancy has uncertainties, let me tell you, every week the hospital rules change. Who's allowed to come with you to appointments changes, whether you have to wear a mask, whether your doula can be with you, whether your husband can be with you. I mean, it's like literally checking the news on what it's gonna be like to have your baby every day. So that's been a whole thing in itself. But basically we decided that the safest thing was to go to a hospital, to Cedars, and it seems like they're doing a pretty good job at separating people who are positive and people who are negative. So that is the plan as of now.
That's excellent. I'm glad, because then you will be in better hands. I mean, I'm sure home will be fine, but you never know. And it's a good hospital. So, okay. So I want to know, in Vicky's case, you are like all of us, actor slash producer, but you're also pretty much into directing, assistant directing, and you've been in major productions. Is there anything that you enjoyed the most, or like, are you planning on directing something? Oh no.
It's a good question. You know, I never saw myself as the director, always more the producer. I always kind of describe myself as the logistical person in a creative world. Like I like being the glue that holds it all together. And I learned about myself when I was on, I kind of always knew like the way I would do it is like by making my, like being the producer and then giving myself parts, because since my money, I can do what I want. And it's just like, I have so many actor friends and that lifestyle seems, you know, a little chaotic sometimes. When I played Barbara Streisand in The Guilt Trip, I was just an actor in that.
You look like Barbara Streisand. Yes.
No, I've never heard that.
Like,
no one's ever told me that.
You look like someone.
But so when I did that movie, I wasn't in production. I was just an actor. And literally the waiting for an hour in your trailer like drove me nuts. And one of my friends is like, you know, texting, he's like, isn't it great? You just sit there and wait for them to come tell you what to do. And I'm like, no, I want to go to set and help them shoot faster. This is crazy. It's a little hard to, because acting takes more concentration, it's a little hard to be like, roll camera and then be the actor. So I really have to depend on my team. But really both.
And so into production and directing, assistant directing, do you have any idea or any plans on directing something on your own? Any?
I really don't. Just producing and acting, and continue to AD, because I love that too. As time consuming as it is, I love every minute of every 18-hour day and every person I get to interact with. So
I really admire you. I was ADing a couple people because I was assistant directing, and they hired me for a musical video. And I was like, this, because as an actor, I mean, you get familiar and you know a lot of words, but like you really don't know very much until you're hands-on. And I was like, oh, I have to do what? How do you do that? So I find out the term. I don't even remember the term. So I came with my binders the next day and I fainted. I was so tired. I forgot to bring a hat. We were doing this like a Western something in the middle of the desert. And with the sun, I really fainted and I have to take a break like for 2 hours to recover.
It's not for everyone. I really feel like we are programmed to do what we do. Like my friends who are agents that are meant for office jobs, like I need to be moving around. I was born a multitasker. I've been a multitasker my entire life. It's one of the reasons now it's a little challenging, but like, you know, as an AD, I'm trained to handle you know, 4 things at once, 5 on a good day. When it gets to 12, then the agitation kicks in a little bit. And I always apologize if I get snippy, but that's, you know, I mean, I thrive there.
That's pretty cool. Maybe I need more experience. My background is I'm a concierge. I'm a hotel concierge. So you get everything.
Get it.
Anything.
Yeah.
And as an actor, you know what, okay, actors, camera rolling, action, you direct, but I mean, I don't know, from an actor to an actor, I just felt weird.
The challenge, because when you have a lot of people, especially in concierge world, when people are throwing things at you, like you'll always see me, I'm on the phone, I'm on the walkie, there's a person in front of me. I do better if it's 2 cell phones, 2 walkies, or 2 people. Like if there's 2 people versus a person and the headset, like that's easier to understand. Like that's, yeah, like the same frequency is easier than I'm listening to this person and I'm having a conversation with this person, but you've learned how to do it.
That's very true. Yeah, I just have to, I don't know, it was a bad moment, or I don't know, but I was like, I'm just gonna, good, I'm gonna pass out, sorry. Selena, you had a lot of success with your first movie, The Good People. And when did you discover that you like producing, which was great because in that movie you don't perform, you're just the producer with your husband, which by the way, I work with Art in another short film recently, and I'm like, oh, I know. But for that movie in particular, which was your first one, it was so successful. Did you always think on like producing? Did it even cross your mind to act on it, or?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, I wrote it as well.
Exactly.
So I wrote it and I produced it and my husband directed it. I went to AFI as a producer and my husband went to AFI as a director. So actually I started off as a producer and kind of a little bit like what Vicky was saying, I had always thought of myself as like a very logical, get it done kind of person. And I always liked being a problem solver and figuring it out and putting it together. And then and it's funny because I had actually kind of put a lot of the creative things that I wanted to do, I had sideswiped myself. Like I was like, oh, there's better writers, there's better actors, so it's like, but whatever, I'm a really good problem solver, and so I'm gonna produce, and then this movie, The Best People, I actually wrote it in a month, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But it was based on some personal experiences and around the time when I was getting married, I had a lot of people in my life who were older than me, who were good friends of mine, who were having a hard time. They were just having a hard time. I was 24 when I got married. So for Mexico, that's just like right down the middle. For LA, that's like child getting married, So everyone freaked out and and it kind of like brought up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. And it was very interesting to see like what it brought up for other people. And so I kind of wrote it from the point of view of, those people that were having a strong reaction as a way to kind of like explore for myself, like why were people having a reaction to me getting married? And so, yeah, I wrote it in a month on a trip that I took. I actually took a phone-free trip. So that's a little piece of advice there. And I wrote
phone-free trip.
Yeah. I was like, for 1 month, I was like, no phone. And then I came out with a movie.
That's really a very good advice to do. Yeah. Disconnect yourself and just focus on what you're doing. Yeah. So you met your husband at AFI?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's when you guys came with. And what are you working on right now? Aside of do you have any other projects as soon as you finish the baby?
Yeah. So, well, obviously, so we're editing the feature. We have like an hour. An hour and 25 minutes of that movie is basically done. So just waiting for the end, doing all the music, composing all that stuff. And then we have a couple of feature films that we're actually having some like virtual pitch meetings for. And then I'm also working on season 2 of Tuning In. So I have a show on Amazon Prime that's like a digital series that's comedy that I also wrote, that I star in, that I produced. And so I'm writing the second season for that.
So you and I belong to this WhatsApp group, or I don't know where I read it, but I remember reading like, hey guys, so I just discovered that I love acting. I've been a producer all this time, but now I feel that, no, I'm an actor. I'm a performer and I enjoy it as much. And I'm not necessarily dropping producing, but I'm transitioning and adding acting into under my belt. How did that snap? How, like, was this something that you got in mind before, or?
Yeah, so I had always wanted to be an actor since I was like 9 years old. And I remember specifically this one moment where I was like auditioning in LA and I was 18 and I was in this audition room waiting for like an hour, just looking around, and like everyone looked like me. I felt like there were just like photocopies of me, but everyone's resume was longer than mine. And it just felt like this like impossible task. It was like, all right, well, everyone already looks like me. They've already been doing it for longer. So what am I really trying to do here? So I think in that moment, I kind of gave up and I was like, all right, let's be realistic about your future. But then just in the last 2 years, I had gotten like really obsessed with like the future. I'd become like really future oriented and like an almost like anxious, not healthy way. Like everything was like, what's the result? And like, when is this going to happen? And so then I decided to join the Groundlings for fun. I was like, I'm going to just do some improv, let loose. I'm like stressing myself out. I'm giving myself panic attacks for no reason. And I started doing stand-up as well. So I joined the Groundlings. I started doing stand-up with no intention whatsoever for it to turn into anything. I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. I need to like reinsert fun into this equation, or I'm not gonna enjoy my job anymore. You know, so I did that, and then it was so crazy because I had this show at the Groundlings, and a friend of mine came to watch. And she was producing a series for the Duplass brothers. And she was like, Selena, you know, I just saw you and you were really incredible. Would you audition for this series? And I was like, I honestly haven't acted in anything in 11 years. And she was like, well, what do you lose? And I was like, okay. So I auditioned and I booked it.
Right on.
Which is like, and I've also been a casting director for over 8 years. So I know how physically impossible
well,
it
that's
is.
true. You're also casting director.
Yeah. So I know the numbers and I know how hard it is for me to have booked that, considering it was my first audition in like 11 years. So I was like, I literally felt like I was like, okay, universe, I hear you. I'm like, maybe I'll try to do this again.
So you're, tell me, you're a casting director from your own project, so they hire you or you work with someone?
So as a casting director, I was getting hired by independent filmmakers for features, shorts, music videos, augmented reality. Like it all started at AFI and people started kind of recommending me to other people. So it's through my production company, I just got like referred, and I've cast like over 100 projects in the last like 7 years. But again, unintentionally, like this wasn't a career I was pursuing. This was just something I thought was really fun, and people kept hiring me for it. And I was like, okay, I'll keep doing it for money, you know? But I've always been very big on performance and actors, and I've always been a networker, and I've always kept track of people I think are talented. And so it came very naturally because I already had like all these people in my mind and like a list, and you know, I had put it into a like master file, and so all of that. And then all of a sudden I realized like I can cast myself, you know? Like
yeah, smart. That's the idea. You have to cast yourself, especially when they don't give you the audition that you want or the role that you want. You have to create it. That's amazing. So Christian, let's go with you for a moment. The Book With Gang, You have done amazing plays, and you directed the Train of the Unknown,
Yes.
which I think is based on La Bestia, is it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So La Bestia, for those who don't know, actually, why don't you tell us about it? What
Yeah.
when you directed, did you write it as well?
Yeah. I wrote it and I directed that piece. La Bestia is a train that goes from the south of Mexico, from the south border, all the way to the north border, and it's usually is used by it's used by Central American immigrants to cross to get to the United States. But it's one of the most dangerous trains you can take. First of all, people fall because the train basically carries just products. It's not like a person train. They have to hop up on top of the train, and people fall all the time. People
Get it and jump into the they have
people die. The worst. You see, it's funny because on that train you can see the worst of humanity and the best of humanity. So you have for instance, women, when they take the train, they take birth control because they know the probabilities of getting raped are very high. And men sometimes don't travel with their IDs because they know that someone might take them and then call their family anywhere. It's horrible. But also you get other people that every day wake up and cook food and put themselves next to the train to give food to the immigrants. Las patronas. They're called las patronas. So yeah, I wrote the play and I directed it. It's the first time of both. I consider myself more of an actor, but lately more of a creator. So anytime I can create something, and so the Puckwick Gang. It's a theater company that we created with Ben Landmesser, Pablo Castelblanco, basically colleagues that we studied together and we've been acting together, and just to create our own stories, our own opportunities. And we started 4 years ago, I think, 4 or 5 years ago, and each year we take a real story and then we make a play about it, and then we perform it. And it's funny because at the beginning we would get, it's a play that we are doing, that we're producing, that we're writing. We get a cast, and then obviously at the beginning you have no fans, you have no one, right? So we'll have plays with like 2 people, you're showing up, and here we are in theater just putting our hearts out. But thankfully, with as with everything that you do in life, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more of a following, not social following, but people identifying our theater company and our work. So that's on the theater side.
And are these the same friends who help you put together the film The Future? The Future is the contest that I was telling you guys, that it's 58 seconds or less to make a story about the future that you envision. And Christian put together an amazing, and I wish I could play it, but I think I deleted it already. But you can find it on the CCM or in Christian's Instagram account, which we're going to ask them where to find them at the end. But want to tell them about
the short film, it was straight rules, 58 seconds with an iPhone, just about something that you want to share. And but it was the people different people helped me for this. It was Jared, which is the director and of JDG Entertainment, and my wife, and Alan, which is one of my best friends. He's a musician, did the music. But yeah, different team, although we all know each other. We all hang out with each other,
And last question for you before I go to Anthony. I keep calling him Robert. You are a lifetime member of the Actors Studio, which is a very hard thing to do, to accomplish. I was reading that you didn't even believe it when they told you that you
the
receptionist and say, what?
I still think they made a mistake.
With the name?
I still.
Because it would happen like super fast.
Yeah. Well, since I was little with my dad, I would sit down and watch inside the actor studio, in Puebla, and then I was always like, oh my God, I would dream with it, but never really thought about it. And then right here, so I did some theater in New York, and then I moved to LA, and then I was doing a play with a friend of mine that was trying to get into the actor studio, and then he was on his final audition for the lifetime membership, right? And he said, would you act with me? I mean, they're not going to judge you, they're just going to judge me. So I was like, okay, yeah, well, of course I would love to help you. And because if you want to get into the lifetime member, there's a huge wait list for like 2 years. And so I did the scene, and then they called me, and then they were like, sorry, I think here we go. So they called me, and they were like, hey, we really like your work. Would you want to present a scene for a lifetime membership? And I was like, of course. And then I prepared the scene, and then I did it, and then they gave me, I guess, what you would call a callback. And then I was moving. Oh, by the way, Regina, my wife and I are also a very young marriage, and we got married very
totally wet.
Yeah, we got married in January, and then COVID happened, but that's okay. It's already been a great year just because of that. But yeah, some people were like, wait, what? Anyways, so we were moving apartments, and then I got the email that I got in, and then my wife saw me, and I was called, and I was like, and then she thought, oh, he didn't get in, and then she saw the email, was like, this is great, this is amazing, and I was like, this is a mistake, there's no way. So I went out, and then I called the coordinator of the actor studio, and I was like, hey, I think you guys made a mistake, if you guys can check the name. They were like, Christian Quintero, yeah, it's you. And I was like, no, I'm like a young guy, and then they were like, yeah, you did great. And no, very happy, dream came true. I mean, it's an institution, it's something that I could go in New York and LA and just work on my craft forever and for free. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's how it happened. It's like a gift from life.
Yeah, it is. It is, because it's for life, precisely. A lifetime member.
Yes.
Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
Anthony, there's a very interesting question that we're going to address in a moment from Benny Noble about working with your significant other as a producer. They want to know, and it applies to you, Anthony, as well, because you have the Giordano brothers. Like, how is it to work with someone who's related or working with you, whether it's your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your brother, a member of your family? Mm-hmm. But before we go to that, tell us, Anthony, so you're a musician, you're an editor, you're an actor, you're a producer, you're a director, and you're a writer, slasher, totally. Like Selena, she's a writer. We all write, right? But mostly actors / producers. What is it that you enjoy the most, and how did you start it first with, like, being a musician?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I started, I think, what I'm most passionate about is performing, just in general.
Performing, yeah.
Exactly. So whether it's on a stage, in front of a camera, in the corner of my room by myself, that's what got me through difficult times. That's what I really live for. So when I get to perform, whether that's acting, just exposing parts of yourself and getting to play in this space that's magical and and shared with other people. And I started that when I was in 3rd grade. I picked up a violin, as most people do, and I started playing music for the first time, and that really caught my interest, and I wanted to become a violinist, and I was practicing a lot, and then as school goes on, they kind of dissuade you from that, because they're like, oh well, careful, you're gonna starve to death then. But when you love it, you keep doing it, as everyone here I'm sure can attest to. So I just kept performing, and
Did you start in theater or?
Mhm. So, well,
theater or-
technically I started in a symphonic orchestra with school.
First, okay.
But I then started theater as soon as I could at the middle, when I first got to high school, and that's where I started acting, and that's where it all went downhill for me.
And then when the producing and the editing and everything else came.
So the producing and the writing especially was to get to have things to act and get to have things to perform. And there was always a little piece of me in the back of my head that was like, you can write something good. So I just kept chasing it, and I kept writing things. I wrote music as well. I think that's where I started the writing bug of just putting things down on paper and seeing what comes of it. I wrote 5 songs, and then a friend of mine that did music with me helped me produce them. And that's where I first made something that was mine. And that's what's been driving me ever since.
That's amazing. And so for the most part, many of the projects that you guys work, you perform on them, you and your brother. How did the Giordano production come on board? Oh, how did you guys decide to work together? Obviously, you have an amazing chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So let's go and let's address that question about working with your significant other, spouse, husband, brother, whatever. How is it working with your brother? Do you have one of those? How do you manage when you have a difference?
I think the beauty of working with someone that you're related to or someone that you love is that you give them the trust that they need, and then at least in my situation, I feel that I have that trust as well, where if one of us feels this is what we need for this moment, or this is how it should be, the other person trusts you, and you go forward from there.
Yeah.
There are times where you butt heads and you're like, no, that's not right. That can't be right. And then that's where sometimes it gets a little fiery, especially if you know them very well. But at least creatively, for my brother and I, we've been super lucky. And we are also, you have to treat each other as professionals still, which is one of the most important parts of working together.
Yeah, that's a good advice. I'm gonna have 2 more questions for you real quick, so we can wrap this up and then continue with Selena. Tell me, what would be the advice that you give to the emerging actors, emerging content creators, emerging talent, and also give us your social media or website that you really read, that you really visit, where people can follow you. So first, let's address the advice, and then where can people find you?
I would say most importantly is go talk to people. Even if they're not in the industry or in whatever you're pursuing, if you talk to people, if you're excited about something, then you can get them excited about that. And look at that, you just made a fan. But that is something that I struggle with all the time, and it is something that you have to work at.
Right, right. And where can you be found? Do you have a website, Giordano Brothers, or maybe individually as Anthony Giordano, or social
Mhm.
media?
Yeah, so as a production company, we have GiordanoBrothersFilm.com. It's at Giordano Brothers Film on Instagram. You can find my stuff specifically at ANTJGIO. You can find Robert's stuff at RobertGiordanoActor.com. We post our own things individually, and then we also have our productions and things on the Giordano Brothers Film YouTube.
Excellent. Perfect. Anthony, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go, stay for a moment, because in the end we didn't take our picture. Selena, what advice would you give to the new emerging talents, and where can you be found?
Yeah, so I would say just do it. Like, I think a lot of times, so I actually have a creative consulting company as well, which I'll tell you guys where you can find it. But I'm a really, really big believer in you will never have enough money. You will never have enough time. I don't care how much money you have or how much money or how much time you have. It's never enough because you always want more. Things could always be better. There could have always been a better set of situation or circumstances. And I think that as creative people, we can get really perfectionist and stop ourselves before we even start. And I think so much of being creative is just embracing the process, knowing that it's not going to be exactly what you wanted it to be, but you're going to get better and you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to make your next project better. And the more you do it, the better you get. And I have a friend of mine right now who just made a huge movie. He wrote a movie that was like for $85 million, which is insane. He was in my class at AFI. But one of the things that he said is like, you know, he wrote 10 scripts a year. Like he put in the work, like, you know, so it's like, it's, you just do it and you keep doing it. And I'm not saying 10 scripts a year is realistic for everyone to write. I'm just saying the more you do, the more you're giving yourself the opportunity to put yourself out there and have a real chance of standing out, and of getting better. So.
But that's a good advice, because I remember when I sometimes invite people to certain studios or wherever, or they are pitching the producers or the executive producers for development, they will say, you start your first 3 sentences and they're like, no, don't like it, doesn't work, or doesn't interest me. What else do you have? And you have to have at least 1 or 2 more to show. You cannot just show up with only 1, because you will burn your chance right there and then. And probably it's still in develop, or you haven't finished, it's still in development, but at least you have to have something to say. And I have it, I'll send it to you. Don't worry, lie if you have to, but you have to have at least a little inside file. So when they ask you, yes, I want that, you have to have it ready. You're right. Where can you be found?
So on Instagram at Selena Ringel, the way that my name is spelled.
They say Ringel.
Sí, Selena Ringel, but
Ringel because of the right.
Yeah.
So SelenaRingel.com, your website?
No, so well, I have Selena Ringel Consulting.com.
Okay.
Which is my creative consulting website. And you can find also Selena Ringel Creative Consulting on Facebook, and Selena Ringel on Facebook. So whatever floats your boat.
How about the Two Hands Production?
I do have a website for our company. Yeah, it's www.twohandsproductions.com with the number 2 instead of it written out.
So I'm gonna make sure when we finish, I will update the description, so you can follow them, guys, because so we know what's the end of the baby thing. We all want to be there. And Vicky, I know you have some.
I have a few things I want to touch on, but I'll try and keep it quick. Selena brought up a really good point earlier about not being don't sideswipe what you really want to do, words. And Anthony, one of the things I wanted to talk about was use your network, which is easier if you've been here for a while, but a lot harder and very admirable for those of you who have just moved here. So that's really awesome. But what I wanted to touch on is, so time is literally the single most valuable thing we own. And we've all been given this huge gift, if you can see it that way. These are hard times, but it's an amazing opportunity to make the most of it. This is literally the best time to reach out to anyone without having to give a reason. Ali Eisman told me that. If she's watching, it's the best advice I've heard all quarantine. I'm going to say it again. It's the best time to reach out to anyone without having to give a reason. Connect on social media, like be creative, do homework on who do you need to meet, who do I need to connect with, figure out who those people are, and just start conversations with people. Everyone's home, they're all receptive. Use the network you already have. You know, I'm struggling right now too, recovering from my brain injury and can't read. It takes me 2 hours to send an email or 30 minutes to write happy birthday on Facebook. But my motivation is there most days. My point is, it's hard for everyone, but really we need to make the most of it however we can. Don't waste this time. Just take action. Selena, what you were saying, like, and I know it's hard to send these messages and do outreach if you don't feel good sometimes, but once you start doing it, the activity alone will help you feel better. You're not going to get the results by sitting at home doing nothing. My agent and I were chatting yesterday, and he said to me, focus on the activity and not the results, and good things are bound to happen. So I say to everyone, you are the CEO of your own career. Mindset is so important. So to be in a good headspace, I say choose to stay positive and come out of this winning. If you're a writer and you're not home writing right now, like this is literally the time. Anything you've ever said to yourself, I'll get to that when I have the time. If you're not doing that now, you're not going to get to it. For me, my biggest thing is like, I'd love to get caught up on email. Can't do that right now, can't read. So instead I have to focus on recovery. So I'm like, okay, let me get better so that I can check my email. But whatever those things are for you, just do it.
Yeah, I agree. Where can they follow you? Can people find you anywhere?
Yes, I am Vicki Goldsmith Film on Instagram. Also on Facebook, Vicki Goldsmith. Insta's probably better, Vicki Goldsmith Film, and IMDb.
And IMDb. Okay, very good. Vicki, thank you so much. I know it's not very easy to just be here and focus on one thing, and if your head is bouncing, but thanks so much for taking the time. Finally, we did it. And Christian, let's go with you. What's the advice that you will give to new emerging people, and where can you be found?
I think advice. I think, well, obviously, all the stuff that they've been saying. Trying to see what to add. Well, I think you know when I guess when you have a dream, you focus too much on like the big goals. You know, like how, oh my God, I'm gonna get so far. You know, and I would say instead of getting distracted about like how amazing your future could be, you know, it's just focus on, just keep learning, you know, just keep working, whatever, just keep moving. I'd say and then pause whenever you have to pause, but just keep on your lane, keep moving, you know, keep learning. If it happens, you know, I guess find what's really truly meaningful for you, you know. And then the other advice would be, which I always say, this it's got to be about the people, you know. It's I think at the end of the day, you know, when I just remember about projects that I do or enjoy, or why I want to get somewhere, it's always my greatest memories is with the people. It doesn't matter the project, you know. I mean, the project is important, but it's the human connections that you make, you know, and the memories that you make that I think truly matter. And and just, I think a lot of people will judge you for where you are, not for who you are. You know, for instance, if you have no credits, some people will not listen to you, and that's just no. They're not gonna give you the time of day if they cannot get something from you, right? So just be true to who you are and work, and then one day with the work, people are gonna start paying attention, and you know. But your happiness doesn't rely on that. You know, your happiness relies on the people that you have and the work that you do with them. I guess adding to what everyone is saying. So that's my advice. And you can find me on Instagram, my personal account. If you have questions about anything, about acting or anything, just send me a message. You know, I always reply. It's at Chris Ñeco. And then also we have with our team, we have a platform, a new platform called No Good Theater, which we just created right now. And it's for emerging actors, you know, that want to try. There are weekly challenges of monologues, and we see them all. We get, you know, if you're the winner of the week, we get to talk to you and give you advice, and we get to connect. And also for writers and for our work at JDG Entertainment, we develop constantly stuff there, and we also have a commercial department, Particle New York. So at Particle New York, and yeah, and soon we will re-release, I guess, the film that we couldn't premiere, and you guys can watch the film. But yeah,
love to see it. I love to see it.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll for sure reply, for sure.
Well, and me, I will suggest, if you're just an actor, don't rely on your agent only. You have to give your agent enough tools. So as Christian said, prepare and keep just learning. We never stop learning. So they have enough material to say, you should hire my actor because of this. In the creative aspect on producing, surround yourself by people who are in the same channel as you, but also with people who do and know things that you don't know. So it will be great to have, if someone is better at editing and the other one is better at music and the other one is great at sound, like really complete the team and trust them, learn to trust and to delegate without judging, and give the people the freedom to do their work. Because I know we tend to do this like, it has to be my way. I have to be there and make sure everything is going to be perfect. If something goes wrong or messed up, you're going to have to fix it after, but you have to have that to happen in order to learn and to be fixed. Do create things. If you don't like the roles you've been sent to audition, then create your own opportunities. Really, this is why Actors Slash is for. Please do like us, like this Facebook Live, like Actors Slash, please. Follow us on actorslash.com is the website. In all the social medias, Actors Slash. Just make sure there's 2 letter S in the middle, because actors is plural. You cannot go anywhere by yourself. Actors, plural. Actorslash.com. And my name is Vanje Tapia. My website is vanjetapia.com. And all my social media, it's also Vanje Tapia. So thank you so much for the 4 of you. There's 5 of us. I really, really appreciate it. I really had a lot of great time and a lot of inspiration stories from you that I got, because I really love what you do. I really admire you a lot. And when I listen to the stories that my fellow actors have to say, I'm like, okay, I guess I can do better here. Oh, that's a great idea. I guess I can apply it here. And I really appreciate that you guys took the time. Thank you so much also for everyone who joined. Anita Solomon, she keeps saying that from the
That would be my
the
mom.
time, that's your mom. From the time Vicky says that she looked like Barbara Streisand, we all were like, she looks like Barbara Streisand. That's true. So she knows. I was like, good. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And whoever is watching, again, thank you. Please follow us all, like us all. We would love to hear from you. And we have time. I'm going to go through all the comments because I haven't been able to read all of them. From different countries, they are just joining everywhere. Amazing. And with this, we say goodbye. And hopefully I will see you next Saturday. I have, it's going to be about voiceover. So I have a studio, a voiceover recording studio joining, voice director who's going to be joining, and also a voiceover agent who's going to be joining. So hopefully you could be there. And thanks again, Christian, Selena, Anthony, Vicky. You guys take care. Smile for me for a moment for the picture. 1, 2, 3. And you can do, yeah, there. There you go. Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank
guys.
you so much for having us. This was good.
Yeah, you bet. That was amazing. I really appreciate it. Okay, so everybody take care and we're going now. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you.
Meet
Nice to meet you.
everybody.
Yeah.
I'll send an email to all of you with your emails in case you're gonna keep in touch. Take care. Bye.